Must hire economic crisis. ChatGPT will replace you.
Do you need to become a QA in 2023 at all? Who would even hire a QA nowadays? Actually, somebody will. Companies are hiring now, and they will be hiring in the future. Not those smoothie lovers, but really great specialists. I am Alina, I am Senior QA, and I will tell you now all pros and cons of becoming a QA in 2023 and why you bloody need it. Money! I became a QA because I love money. It is one of the highest paying jobs where you don't have to code, and I fucking hate coding. So let's look on the Glassdoor. The average salary in Europe is $50,000. The average salary in the States is $100,000. The numbers are impressive, aren't they? So while are you thinking, going or not going into IT, you are losing 50k every year. That's a big deal if you are not a millionaire. And if you are a millionaire, there is a thanks button on YouTube. I'm just saying. Fast way. QA is the easiest way to get into IT. It has the lowest and the fastest entry threshold. It takes only a few months to become a QA. Yeah, it's not a joke. To become a regular trainee developer, you need about 1 year, if not more, because you need to learn a programming language, build a portfolio on a GitHub, etc. A QA only needs 3 to 4 months. You can do it even in 2 if you want to. For me, 4 months was enough to learn a basic course and get my first job offer when I was starting. First job. It is much easier to look for the first job and the first work experience as a QA engineer. You don't need a portfolio, which is an example of your work stored on some service. For example, developer should have a project code somewhere on a GitHub. A designer needs his project showcased somewhere on Behance, Dribble, etc. This is required so that companies who want to hire an employee can save some time and filter potential candidates. Programmers are evaluated before the interview by their portfolio. Someone is looking at the quality of written code. Designers are also assessed by the beauty of their portfolio before the interview. But testers needs exactly nothing, except the knowledge, of course. So, subscribe to this channel to get all this knowledge for free. High demand. QA will always be needed. If you have managed to Google it, QA courses are dime a dozen on the internet, and plenty of QA graduates are available on the market. But after taking another look at the first point, the average salary in the States is $100,000. It becomes obvious that the companies do need QA and good QA. In reality, not all QA graduates will or can work in their specialty. For this, there are several reasons. It becomes too difficult, you need to study a lot, there are no millions of dollars in your bank account, harsh reality, or it's just not yours to work with your head.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
So, you still have a chance to become a QA, to get your first job, and don't give a fuck about anything else. One more thing. Every day in the world, a new app is launched. It is fighting for its own place under the sun and its audience. One of the reasons why users refrain from using one or another app is its quality. And good quality can be provided only by good QA engineers. There are a lot of QAs on the market right now, but if you are a bloody good worker or aspire to be one, there is nothing to worry about. AI threat. Many people worry about AI because it will replace QA soon. Bullshit! Currently, AI can cover only a part of the task and only sometimes qualitatively. At some point in about 10 years, AI will be able to do the routine work of QA, but that doesn't mean that the QA profession will vanish. Instead, it will transform, and QA will no longer test everything by hand, but run AI and control the testing process at the manager level. It is essential to understand that the QA is not just pressing buttons and writing test cases, but explicitly providing quality service, such as monitoring, controlling, supporting the product, and process management. It's all about the fucking quality of the product. I'll talk more about the AI in the next video, so subscribe so you don't miss it. Now I recommend doing something other than procrastinating and thinking, if AI might replace me tomorrow. And just start becoming somebody who is not so easily replaceable today. Now let's talk about the cons. Competition. The first thing I encountered was a lot of competition. After looking at all advantages above, it's easy to guess that there are a lot of QAs on the market right now, and you will have to sweat a lot to get your first job. Not remote. The QA position is not often remote one. Before COVID, the good old days, most parts of the IT staff were in the office, and now everybody shouts and wants to work remote. They are too a pity. From my experience, you will probably have your first job in the office, but as you prove yourself, you can find a remote one position on the another job. I am lucky to work from home, although the office has its own charms too. Sometimes they can feed you for free. Responsibility. The third drawback is that QA work implies a high degree of responsibility. QA is one of the last stages before you throw the product into the scary real world. So you just have to be ready for the commitment and accept it. Knowledge is needed. And the last minus, knowledge solves everything. You can't just slip through the cracks. You can't just learn something and get lucky. You can't just find your first job through your father or brother. There should be clear understanding that everything demands on you. How much time and effort did you put into your training? You will have to study a lot and sometimes look for any options to get the first experience. For example, you might work for a penny for a few months or even half a year to get the first work experience or an internship. If you make it through, after the 9th hell gates, you can be sure you will have a good salary at your next job. Remember, the more time you spend for studying QA, the more prominent reward will be. But if you decide to do an online interview and read the answers to the questions without knowing a fucking thing, you will be cracked in 5 minutes. I will tell you a secret, that some companies have a blacklist in which they put such bastards. So please, learn everything on your conscience, or karma will punish you later. At this point, it was everything I wanted to say. I will do a testing course on this channel and share all my experience entirely for free. If you are not scared of cons and dollar warms your heart, so you are welcome.